You do not need a lot of money to start building a house in Ghana. In this video, I'm going to dive into how you can start small and actually end up with a very beautiful house for yourself and your family. So let's dive into it. Oftentimes, a lot of us think we need a lot of money before we can build something for ourselves. In this video, I'm going to demystify all of that. I'm going to let you know from personal experience and people that I do know that have built houses out of pocket here in Ghana, right? So a little background story for you guys. In Ghana, most of us don't get the fancy mortgage and paid off in 30 years or even 15 years. We don't have the luxury. It's not the norm. Most of the houses that you see, people paid out of pocket to build that house. And when you hear how much the house costs and you know the value of this house, a lot of us think we can never accomplish that. And that's what this video is about. I want you to know that you can accomplish that. And I'm going to show you the principles that I personally used to build a $350,000 house. When I started, I only had $10,000. It took a year and a half to do it. I'm going to share some examples with you guys with multiple people that I have actually coached that ended up building a house within a year and they were not earning that much. I know you guys want to know how you can accomplish such a feat. So let's dive into it. The human mind loves targets. What do I mean by that? There's a reason why human beings set goals, right? You usually have to have a target and everything can happen from there. And also they say the human mind is the most creative when things are difficult. So let's back up a little bit. When I wanted to build my house that I live in right now, that ended up costing me $350,000. I was in college. At the time, I've never really had more than $30,000 to my name at a given time. But at the time of construction, I had about $14,000 to my name when I started. And it took a year and a half and I was able to do it. I'm going to let you know what I uncovered along the way for me to accomplish that. One, the human mind, according to Napoleon Hill from Think and Grow Rich, likes imagination and just having a target. Just knowing that you are doing something, right? Knowing that you are doing something and working towards that goal, and you will find a way to achieve that. Simple and as crazy as it might sound to you, that is actually the truth. When you are working towards something, right? When we are going to school, college, you want to be a doctor, whatever you put your mind to in your entire life, you have been able to accomplish it for the most part. It might take longer, it might take shorter, you might do it sooner than you expected, but you accomplished it unless you give up along the way. Now, building, nobody has a gun to your head. Nobody is pressuring you to build. Maybe you might have a target that I want to build this building in 2 years. You might miss and do it in 3 years, right? Elon Musk also said something that was quite impressive, that people want to accomplish something in 10 years. He wants to accomplish in a year. It's just his expectation and he's able to accomplish it. Whatever you put your mind to is what you're going to be able to do. As Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, they are both right. Enough with the quotes and the philosophical speech. You can build a house, whether you have $10,000 to your name, $5,000 to your name. But don't look at it like that. Don't look at, oh, this house is going to cost me $150,000. Where am I going to get the money from? You will get the money to do it. And I'm going to teach you how. It all starts with one trip of sand. Now, how much is a trip of sand or stone? Let's say $300. $300, you can start something. When you buy the stones and pour it on your land, you have started your construction. When you buy the blocks, right, your foundation, let's say you need 3,000 blocks, right? 3,000 blocks times 7, you are looking at 21,000 Ghana cedis. Now, that's less than $2,000. So essentially, I'm telling you, when you have $5,000, you can start something. Doesn't mean that you're going to go ahead and finish it, but you can start something. And that's what I want to get to my friends. Starting. Not starting like you are building and you are moving just like that. No. We are all moving according to our own pace. Some people have the money up front and they want to build everything. But that's not the vast majority of the people that I know that have built. My neighbors, people I know who've built slowly, they just started with what they have. And it's usually not much. So let's look at my neighbor to my left. My neighbor to my left was actually renting. And he bought the land. He built a mother's 2-bedroom for himself. He wasn't done with the building when he moved in. The outside wasn't plastered, but he managed to do the inside and paint it a little bit. He wasn't even able to tile all the places, and he moved in, avoided paying rent in other places, and then he's been living here for 10 years now. He's built that house and built 2 units apartment next to him, and he's counting. Now he wants to build a 4-bedroom house, 2-story for himself, because the 2-bedroom is now going to serve as boys' quarters. And it's all started small. Start with what you have. I also have somebody I work with who I was encouraging. He had the land to build and he swore he didn't have the money. I told him to just start. Buy the sand, buy the cement, buy the blocks, buy the stones and start with what you have. He finally listened, and a year later, he's about to move in next month, and he cannot believe he did it. Have you ever wondered where all your money went? Right? A lot of people say, where did all my money go? Your money goes to places that you're not even aware of. Or you think you're aware of it is because you don't have a proper goal for your life. So when you set the target that I'm building this house and you are determined, like I was when I was in college building this $350,000 house, I was able to accomplish it because I was determined, right? I had to cut down on vacations. I had to cut down on unnecessary spending. I had to cut down on clothes. I had to cut down on, as a matter of fact, I sold most of my designer shoes in the quest of accomplishing what I wanted. I got wiser. I read more books. I found more opportunities. I found more ways of making money. It led me to the stock market. All because I was driven. Now, if you have that audacious big goal in your mind, this time is your house. It's tangible. When you build it, you can see the house progressing. You can see the foundation coming up. And that gives you the confidence, give you the morale to keep finding ways to move faster. Because when you're not moving, all you can think about is that, how can I go? How can I finish this house? How can I finish this house? Just thinking about that, you start to really think outside the box and find ways to accomplish it. Now, just think about it this way. How many people, pay off their mortgage in 1 or 2 years in America? Not a lot. It's rare for you. But when you come to this side of town, Africa, because we don't have the option to take a mortgage and pay it off in 30 years, we find a way to build a house in a year, 2, 3, 4. We find a way. Because the human mind will always accomplish what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, as Napoleon Hill will put it. Believe it, my friends. I did it. I know people are doing it. I know people have done it. You do not need a lot of money to start that $80,000 house, that $100,000 house. You start with the land. You start with the stones. You start with the blocks. You start with the foundation. You start with the core shell. You start with the talent. You start with the windows. You start with the electrical. You start with the plumbing. It's one step at a time. And nobody's rushing you. But once you are in the quest of doing, like I said, we're always leaking money in certain places that we don't have to put our money. But we don't even know it because we do not have plans for our money. Now, human beings, our minds are designed to have something like a pinpoint that we are working towards. Some of the most miserable people in the world are people who have no aim and goal in life. If you have no aim and goal in life, you're going to be miserable. But the people who are fighting for a great cause like me, people are selling land to people in the diaspora, making sure they're not getting scammed in the process. People who are, taking over people building and building for them, making sure that they are not being scammed in the process. Now, when I wake up in the morning, do you think I'm depressed or I'm unhappy? No, I'm happy. I'm pumped up because I have a goal in my mind. To me, we are not just building houses. We are not just selling land. We are saving people from losing their hard-earned money. That is the goal. That is what we stand for at Russian Properties. So when you have that goal in your mind that you are going to what? Finish that house. You will finish that house. Believe it, you will, my friend. You will find a way to do it. You will find a way to do it. You will realize that you were spending some money in certain places that it wasn't worth it. And you will move it towards the house. Right? I couldn't believe it when I ended up spending like $40,000 on a house within like a couple of months. I couldn't believe it. What was the reality? And after I finished the house, at a certain point, I think I had coughed up about $65,000 before the stock market came in. And I sat down and asked myself, where was my money going all this while? Where was it going? I wasn't financially responsible. I was good. I've always had savings in my account since I was the age of 19 when I saved my first $30,000. Oh God, I felt so rich during those times. And ever since, I've built my credit. I've paid my car note off. Instead of 6 years, I did it in 3 months. I've done the things the right way. But I never really accomplished anything to this effect. I never had more than $30,000 to my name. I saved to $30,000. Then I go for that Gucci. Then I go for that Louis. Then you take a trip. Then you do this and you do that. Because we did not have it go. It was only when the idea of moving to Ghana came to play. And I chose to use the easy way out. So imagine if I would have gotten the easy way out. The easy way out is I wanted a mortgage. If you guys who don't know me, I'm a U.S. Navy veteran. And if you serve in the military and you get out honorably, like I did, you end up getting your VA loan, 0% down, right? So again, little explanation here. People who take that mortgage in America have to cover up 20% of it to avoid extra charges like the PMI, right? Which is like private mortgage insurance. That's to ensure the fact that you didn't put 20% down because house prices can go down and stuff like that. The banks want to be secure, right? Then you have first-time homeowner and you can pay less than 20%, but it still comes with that PMI. extra charges. Or if you serve in the military, you get to override that. You put nothing down, and the VA basically guarantee you 20%. VA is Veterans Affairs. It's part of the benefits. To make the long story short, I wanted to tap into that. I wanted that money to bring it to Ghana to come and build this nice house that I stay in. They told me, no, can I have it? This loan is only for America. If you buy a house in America, you are entitled to it. As a matter of fact, a girlfriend of mine did it. He's living nice. And I have yet to do mine. I have never exercised my VA loan before because they just wouldn't give it to me. They wouldn't let me take the easy way out, guys. Imagine if they would have given me that money. I would have been busy paying that mortgage off for the next 30 years with all the interest. Do you think I would have been hungry enough? I actually didn't think it was possible for me to do this thing. I went ahead anyways, and we were able to do it. And now we're in the process of buying an office building, and we almost do it. So, my fellow brothers and sisters, don't worry too much about what you have now. What you do need is, what do you want? Oftentimes, we are on the rat race, especially in the West, America, Germany, UK, wherever you are. Oftentimes, we're on the rat race, right? We don't sit down and think. It's hard for us to sit down and think because there's so much moving parts. When you wake up, you have to shower. You have to make it on time to work. Then you come back, you're exhausted. You cook, you eat, you sleep. You wake up, you do it all over again. When you have time, you got to go watch with clothes and then rinse and repeat. Most people never had the time to think about what they want and actually sit down, write down what they want to do and map it out. There lies the problem. If we all know what we want and we can be honest with ourselves, you don't have to build that $300,000 house, that $200,000 house. You don't. Some of us are okay with $80,000 house. Some of us are okay with $120,000 house. Know yourself. Know thyself, fellow brothers and sisters. Know thyself. Analyze what you want. Then break it down. Okay, Rome was not built in a day. There's a lot of saying in this. When you have that big goal, when I was looking at this house, that's going to cost me so much, right? My bill of quantities, which is the bill of this house, was nowhere close to $350,000. But that's what it was when I was done. The bill of quantities initially was $198,000. But obviously, that doesn't include everything. They didn't include the solar panels, which I added. It didn't include the adjusted prices for, tiles and coal. Because, COVID happened. Prices of things got pretty expensive during those times. And a lot of things that came in play. A lot of changes, a lot of add-ons, changing the kind of compound I wanted and all that. And I ended up spending more than $150,000 extra. In my wildest dream, I didn't think it was even possible to build a $198,000 house in 3 years, but I was going to try anyways. I was able to accomplish that in a year and a half and spending $150,000 extra on top of it, all because I took that one step. And that one step was to what? Try and starting. Get your mind to working. If you have that land and you are thinking that I don't have the money to build, so I'm not going to start, you are making a huge mistake. I'm not telling all of you guys to go and build a house. Not all of us want to pour our money into a house and stuff like that. The West, there's a huge, argument on his house is worth it, blah, blah, blah. But Africa, I think it's more than worth it. I live in a house now that I pay $0 every month. I pay $10 in water, sometimes less. I have solar panels. I spend less than $60 on electricity a month, and I live in this big house, and that's all I pay. So yes, it's worth it to own your house out here. So this is for you guys that think that houses are so expensive. You are making that $60,000 a year, and you are barely scraping by. You can barely save $1,000 a month, and you think you cannot do it. I'm telling you, you can. If you're saving $1,000 a month and you want to put that cost to the house, trust me, you will be able to come up with ways to save more than $1,000 or ways to earn more than you earn. That's what happened to me. I've seen it with my right-hand man who has now finished building his house in a year and he's about to move in. And a lot of local friends that I have that own their houses outright, okay? I have so many people around me here in Ghana that do normal jobs. They own their houses outright. They built out of pocket, guys. All because they did what? They started. Getting the land is important, and after that is one step at a time. Welcome to Afenya. A plot of land in Afenya is 85,000 Ghana cedis. I've been selling land to a lot of people. Most of the houses in the walls that you see on this video are the people that bought land from me. We still have plenty of land available for you. And if you're interested, our link is in this very video and in the description below. Reach out to us so we can talk. Afenya is less than an hour away from Accra. and they are doubling the road, so the distance will be even shorter when it's done. Pram Pram. Now, Pram Pram is well sought after due to its proximity to the beach. People love the beach fronts and the beach vibe in Pram Pram. Now, Pram Pram is not too far away from the main city, which is Accra. Less than an hour drive, you are in Accra, and they are doubling the main Tema Adan Road. When that's done, the distance will be even shorter. We also have land here going for 85,000 Ghana cedis per plot. Foundation might be expensive, so you start small with the materials. You need this many iron rods. You buy it, you keep it in a container somewhere, or you give it to the iron rods guy to, take a receipt. You take it when it's ready. You buy the sand. The sand, you might not want to wait too long, so you have to be strategic. You buy the stones. Rain cannot sweep it away. You buy the sand 2 months before, right? You get your money ready for the cement. You get money ready for laborers. Then you move. You do it. You put a block work in there. You take a break. You have to do filling. You buy a few trips. Some people, look, I've seen it being done. You finish with the foundation. You take your time. You save for blocks. You buy the blocks. You send it to the site. You wait. You get money for sand. You buy the sand. You wait. You get money for cement. You wait, because you can't buy cement and leave it there. You put it somewhere. You get money for your labor. Then you move. You do it to a certain stage. You stop. I've seen it being done over and over again. By the time you know it, my friend, your house will be sitting. It's almost like a miracle. And then you look back and you couldn't believe it where you got the money from. You couldn't believe it. I'm saying that because I want all of us to own a house one day. I want all of us to come and buy land from Russian properties and build a house. Yeah? And I believe strongly in my heart that we can all do it. Whether you are earning $50,000, $40,000, $60,000, the mind is very powerful. It always comes down to having the image in your mind that you want to do something. And trust me, you can do it. I know it. I've seen it. I've done it. And I have taught it to people that have done it in my circle. It is more than possible to accomplish whatever you want to put your mind to, as long as it's realistic. If your mind can conceive it and believe it, then it can achieve.